Did Sonia Gandhi mock the president? One. Was her comment in poor taste? Second. Or is the government making a mountain out of a molehill? Poor thing and poor are two different things. I'm joined by Shivam Bhagat, spokesperson Congress Party, Anila Singh, spokesperson BJP, Javed Ansari, senior journalist, and Savio Rodrigues, senior journalist. Both of them join me. Javed, let's frame this debate. What do you make of it? Mr. Ansari.
The question?
Yes, that's the question for you. What do you make of this?
Look, the furor over Mrs. Gandhi's comments are unfortunate. Both you and I have covered Mrs. Gandhi for the longest possible time, and I have never experienced or come across heard Mrs. Gandhi ever mock, leave alone insult anybody, and that too the President of India. She was, when she said poor thing, she meant it empathetically. It was an empathetic remark. It wasn't certainly, to my mind, it was certainly not meant to disrespect the President of India. I mean, I can understand this is election season and everything is par for the course, but some things ought to be kept, some things ought to be kept out, some things need to be ignored. But what has really startled me is that the president's office has chosen to react. Now, if the president's office or the president has acted of her own violation, then obviously, I mean, this is really not a good sign. Mrs. Gandhi's remark was a remark was an empathetic remark. It was certainly not meant to insult, mock, or disparage the Honorable President of India. That's my take on this.
Before I go to Anila Singh and Shivam Bhagat, let me go across to Savio Rodrigues. Savio, I think it's a bitter personal history starting from Maut Ka Saudagar, I mean to say people can twist things and I really don't expect that the politicians will leave any thing to chance. But in this case, what's the big take?
No, Karthike, I think Mrs. Gandhi should have been a little prudent in the words that she used, because when she was talking about her, she's not talking about her only as a woman, she's talking about President Murmu, who's the president of the country. So when you say she was a bit weak, I think the first aspect of that conversation was weak, and that is where the entire thing trickles down, and then further on to say terming her as a poor thing. The president of the country of India, the president of India is not a weak person. It could have been anybody at any point of time. There is the whole power of the country of India behind the president of India. So Mrs. Gandhi has to be a little careful, because she too, as a political leader, is of a certain age and will have frailty as far as that age is concerned, and that's something that's going to happen to anybody, any politician at that age. So while looking at her on these aspects, one, that she's a woman, most importantly, she is the president of India. The choice of words could have been far more prudent than the words that were used by Mrs. Gandhi, and I think that's the way I look at it. When you term the president of India weak, you are really not referring to her as an individual, but you're referring to her as the representative of an entire 1.4 billion population of Indians, and therefore, in the wisdom that Mrs. Gandhi has, I think she should have been a lot more prudent with the words that she had used.
But Savio, if you look at the entire tape, uh, instead of the press, it was Mr. Gandhi who was talking to Sonia Gandhi. If you look at the entire clip,
Yes. Yes, but he too didn't have very positive things to say about the president's address. Now, whether you like the political party or not, whether you assume that the president is somebody that's controlled by the political party and the powers at the center, that doesn't change the most important constitutional fact that President Murmu is the president of India. Therefore, she's the president of Sonia Gandhi, she's the president of Rahul Gandhi, and every other person in any political party in the country. So the choice of words, see, in the end of the day, Karthike, we are all responsible political leaders. The words that we use become national and international news basically because the gravitas we have as political leaders. So, in a highly sensitive election campaigning moment going on right now, Mrs. Gandhi could have been certainly more prudent in the words that she used. And therefore, I think that's where Mrs. Gandhi has gone wrong. And Rahul Gandhi, the less said, the better, because we have experiences of him making unnecessary statements, not only in India, but internationally as well. So I'd rather not comment on him because I don't think he puts much value to President Murmu, and that has been seen over a period of time. And most of them actually feel that the president's position right now is that of something that is controlled by the political leaders of the BJP in Delhi, but that's not true. I think we've got to respect the president for what she stands for. She is certainly someone who has made her mark as far as politics is concerned. She has come out of the strains and struggles
Okay.
of life. She is a woman and done it so well and so beautifully to reach the highest point of the of the country as the first lady of this country. And I think that's the respect we have to accord to her, irrespective of your political views.
Okay.